Question. You ever go to the Ringside Collectibles WrestlingFigs.com website and just see people arguing about wrestling toys and decide to quit the industry of toy review on YouTube for about 5 years? Answer. Only you can decide. Well, today's video is about a figure that is very, very maligned on the Wrestling Figs forum, and that is, oh, you can see me. That is the Elite Series 100 Rey Mysterio from Bash at the Beach 1998, when he took out Chris Jericho in his major return when he showed up buffer than ever. This figure is advertised as True FX lifelike details, but if you told me that this figure and the paint details were from back when I started collecting, maybe in about 2015, I wouldn't know any difference because there's no true life effects details like on here. It's just paint. The back of the box shows a design by my boy, Jonathan Bartlett. But of course, we'd all love for an actual when this figure's from, when the attire's from, because unfortunately this figure's all wrong from Bash at the Beach. Everyone's mad about it. Everyone's complaining, as they do on the Wrestling Figs forum. But this time around, I think they're right, even though some people come out and say, no, you're wrong. This figure's fine. But let's check it out. I'm gonna unbox it. 100% see why out of the packaging people say this figure's awful. This figure's garbage. This figure's trash. But if you're just a kid that wants a fun Rey Mysterio to play with from when he was dressed up in 1998 at Bash on the Beach, which you wouldn't be a kid back then and you probably wouldn't really know Rey Mysterio when he looked like this with tights on rather than his pant aesthetic that he wears now. So kids wouldn't really be picking this up unless it's someone telling their parents, hey, I want Rey Mysterio figure because he's my favorite wrestler, and they see this on the shelf and grab it, and the kid's like, yeah, it looks like Rey Mysterio, but the pants are wrong. So I lost my train of thought. But here's the deal. This figure is so historically inaccurate on so many levels. It's kind of baffling what Mattel was trying to do with this figure. First thing I will point out, I think he should be a little more swole. I think he's a little thin here. And when he came back at Bash at the Beach 1998, he was swole. He was jacked. And this figure is jacked. It's just, he feels very small here. And I feel like this is the old school Rey figure they always put out in this size, and I'd like to see a little growth. And as I mentioned before, it says True Effects. There are no True Effects here. There's no face printing going on. That's like they scanned an old school picture of Rey Mysterio JR and threw that in there. No, this is literally the same stuff they've been doing for thousands of years, ever since Elite Series 1. So we are getting ripped off in that department. Now the big things people are mad at. Mattel couldn't decide whether the attire was green or yellow. In fact, it was a mixture of the two. It was kind of neonish greenish yellow, like a highlighter, but a slighter green tint to it. So they decided, let's go with both, because that would look great. And unfortunately, it doesn't really, like, they all match. They all work in conjunction with each other, but historically accurate, they should have just gone with one color. And then people on the Wrestling Figs forums would say, it would be like Han's Hoth jacket. Is it brown? Is it blue? It depends on the lighting. And I don't know what this is. It's probably not as historically documented as Han's Hoth jacket, but I wish they just stuck to one and did that. Also, these never existed. He had just basic white wrist tape. But for some reason Mattel wanted to give us extra, so they threw that on there. And I'll see if it is removable, but I don't understand why they did that. Because it's just not historically accurate. And then again, his Rey Mysterio Riddler stuff, that's totally off. That's totally wrong. They got it wrong. Again, thanks, Bill. will. But I do want to digress and let you all know that I'm not, I do not post on the Wrestling Figs forums. That's like saying I'm a Redditor, I feel like, in this day and age. Is you don't want it coming out that you post there. But this figure, it doesn't really work because they didn't stick to one color. Oh, also people got really mad that they didn't line his eyes in white like it was that day. And looking at his mask here, I think I would have preferred they went with the yellow tone that you see here, because I think that's closer to accuracy than this dark green. But yeah, change that eyes, print something so we get like realistic looking eyes or mouth or something, because this ain't it. This ain't it right here, Mattel. I'm sorry, but let's look at the actual figure and not the accessory, because we all know, like, old school WCW, the giant Big Show figure came with an accessory of Rey Mysterio. So let's look at the championship title, the Cruiserweight that came with this Rey Mysterio. Or that, let's just look at these. You got hands. You got small replacement hands, but the thing is, like, The Rock came with a jacket, well, a shirt, glasses, and a championship title. Becky Lynch came with her jacket and a championship title. Ray only gets 2 hands? Yeah, that ain't it, man. Like, come on. Have him come with, like, Dennis Rodman or something. I will note, when you do switch out the hands, you can take off those weird Mattel Creation wristbands, wrist straps, whatever they are. So he can look a little closer to accuracy to the show. Just having no wristband, in my opinion, is better than fake wrist tape. So this championship title, I think people are mostly excited about it because it says WCW. Printing looks really nice and all there. And I do like seeing that WCW logo. I am a WCW stan. Actually not. I've barely watched any WCW, but I know my boy Rob is. So therefore I have to be, because Rob's a real good guy. So Rob, you might like this figure, but it's all inaccurate. But you will like this for that throwback logo, because WWE likes to throw their logo everywhere, so it's nice to see WCW on there. Final thoughts, final predicaments. This figure sucks. It hits the fart fail scale at level 2.7. But for real, this is not a good figure if you want accuracy. This is a good figure if you just want a Rey Mysterio and you don't care about accuracy. But with figures reaching the $25, $30 price range, Mattel can certainly give us a bit more for our money. Like, yeah, he got those tattoos, he has some printing there and stuff like that, but it's obvious that this is the figure that got none of the budget. This is not the loss leader. This is my loss leader. I lost so much money making this video, so y'all need to hit that like and subscribe and whatever bonus stuff YouTube does in this day and age. But for now, I wouldn't recommend this figure. I just don't see any need for it in a collection because it's not accurate. And it's just like, Rey Mysterio is known for his colorful looks, colorful attire. And it's just baffling how Mattel could botch it up so bad with this one. And again, I don't want to be one of those people from the Wrestling Figs forums, but I am in this day and age. It hurts. Well, at least I'm not a Redditor.